What's going on, everybody? C4 today, and it's fucking happened. The Patriots have had literally everything go right for them this offseason as it stands right now. There's still slight cloudiness over the future of Malcolm Butler, but I'm pretty sure all us fans that do not cheer for the team in red, white, and blue know Malcolm Butler will be returning. I know there's murmurs that he might be, peak interest with the Saints, but I think if that was really the deal, they would have just traded him in that deal for Brandon Cooks and made it look at least a little bit not as fucking unbelievably one-sided as it ended up being. But today, really the last big free agent has gone off the board outside of the running backs, the old running backs, which I think a lot of teams are kind of pumping the brakes on because of the very strong draft class for the running back position. The Patriots were able to re-sign Dante. It's Dante. Dante is how I say it because that's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Dante Hightower. I'm pretty sure you already know that. To a 4-year. $43.5 million deal with $19 million guaranteed. Again, that's still an absolute good bargain. I think not a huge Patriot watcher, because a lot of the games that I get where I live are the Patriots games, but most that I've watched, Hightower is their most influential player on the defensive side of the ball. And it was clearly the big reason, maybe not even just the reason, why they let guys like Chandler Jones, why they let guys like Jamie Collins go, because they knew Hightower was going to be the cream of the crop, and he's going to cost them a lot of money for a linebacker, over $10 million a year. That's how the contract roughly works out to. But, I mean, this just is the cherry on top. They were able to get Dwayne Allen for a Dwayne Allen and a 6th rounder for a 4th rounder. So Dwayne Allen's going to come right in and replace Martellus Bennett. Obviously, it's a little bit of a downgrade, but there's more upside. Martellus Bennett, what is he, 30, 32, 31, something like that. He's still a great tight end, but he's not going to develop anymore. Dwayne Allen still has potential to grow, and Lord knows Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and company will be able to get the most out of Dwayne Allen, especially pairing with Ron Gronkowski. So now they are back and set with a very influential 2 tight end lineup that they haven't really had since, last year, but Gronkowski was hurt enough that you couldn't really say it. But maybe this might be the best tight end group they've had since Aaron Hernandez before he decided to murder some people. They're able to get Stephon Gilmore for 5 years, $65 million, which is fairly expensive and kind of uncharacteristic from the Patriots. But still, in my opinion, Gilmore was the top corner out of, I think even if you considered Malcolm Butler, I would still have Gilmore ahead of Butler, Boye. That's really much it. Those are like the big 3 anyways at the cornerback spot. They were able to bring back Alan Branch, who's a starting defensive lineman for 2 years, $8.5 million. They were able to re-sign Duran Harmon, a very good, solid safety that still can hopefully develop a little bit. Traded a 2nd rounder for a 3rd rounder and Coney Ely off the Carolina Panthers. Coney Ely, guy that had one hell of a Super a couple years ago with the Panthers, and still has a whole lot of upside. Realistically, everything they lost this year, they've been able to replace. They lost Martellus Bennett, able to get Dwayne Allen. They lost Jabal Sheard, able to get Coney Ely. Both those guys could be considered upgrades based off of they haven't hit their ceiling yet. And you expect they haven't hit their ceiling yet. And you expect that the Patriots will be the team and the coaching staff that will get those players to hit their ceilings. Obviously, we have to talk. They brought in Rex Burkhead, who's actually, I read something, he's the highest paid Patriot running back since Fred Taylor in 2010. They got him on a 1-year, $3.15 million deal. And Burkhead had plenty of upside. He looked solid when he got some snaps with the Cincinnati Bengals last year. I'm not exactly sure where he fits in to that. I pretty much can assume that they brought Burkhead in to take over. He's not really a power back, but to take over the spot, they're not going to be getting a Jamal Charles and Adrian Peterson, probably the end of LeGarrette Blount. But Burkhead in a backfield with Dion Lewis and James White, that is just 3 guys. Doesn't matter really what they are. They all can come in and execute the same similar type of schemes. And then we have to talk about trading a 1st and 3rd rounder to New Orleans for Brandon Cooks and a 4th rounder. The absolute biggest fleecing done this offseason. An upgrade. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Danny Amendola is still on the roster, but you could just assume, all right, Brandon Cooks is going to take over for Amendola. Their wide receivers next year will be Cooks and probably Malcolm Mitchell on the outside, maybe Chris Hogan, and then you have Julian Edelman in the slot. So Patriots have easily, as much as I want to say the Eagles won the offseason, the Eagles I think have the best contract with what they got with Alshon Jeffrey in terms of, overall limiting risk. Risk reward went to the Eagles on the Alshon Jeffrey contract. But for overall, this might be the best offseason I've ever seen the Patriots have, from getting Gilmore to re-signing Hightower. And if they can end up keeping even if they lose Malcolm Butler, they still had the top offseason out of any team. If they hold on to Malcolm Butler, just fucking put them in the Super Bowl already. That's one thing I want to end off with this video. Obviously, it's big news that they got Hightower, that they're able to get, debatably, If you considered Cooks as an available player to get this offseason, they debatably had 3 of the top 5 available people this year this offseason in Gilmore, Hightower, and Brandon Cooks. I think you'd have those 3. You put Alshon Jeffrey, and then you might have like a Calais Campbell, AJ Boye rounding out that list, unless I'm completely blanking on someone. But my thing that I want to finish off here with today is, so many people talk about the ads, the shitty reffing, how the commercial format works out for why viewership in the NFL is dwindling. But if you think with this big hyped offseason, if they could all stay healthy and the Patriots dominate and then they go to the playoffs again, do you think that's going to hurt viewership? I honestly think it will. I don't want to come to slide off the Patriot fans because honestly, we can't be bitchy at you guys. It's free agency. It's an open market. Players want to go to you. I can't be like, oh, fuck the Patriots and fuck their fans. They had no reason. These players want to go to England. Congrats on having a culture and an organization that attracts players of this type of talent. But I think that if I'm the league as a whole, I'd be a little bit worried about the viewership because of the Patriots. Because if it's another if they stay healthy, the Patriots are going to be, once again, the favorites. Once again, it doesn't even make sense how a team like this can reload. Usually when a team wins the Super Bowl, they're the team the next season, look at the Ravens just from a couple years ago. Usually the team right after they lose the Super Bowl, they lose a bunch of guys to free agency, they lose a bunch of coaches to other teams. None of that happened. Absolutely none of that happened. They lost, like I said, and what they did lose, they were able to recoup in free agency and potentially upgrade depending on how you're looking at it. So I'm just a little bit worried, personally, because I don't give a fuck. Patriots are probably going to steamroll most of the people. It's an absolute cakewalk in the AFC East. Jets suck. Jets are going to be terrible next year. The Bills, in a transitionary period, they're probably not going to be too good. And then you have the Dolphins, who I personally don't think Ryan Tannehill's worth a damn. So once again, it should be a cakewalk for the New England Patriots. And I just think, especially in the playoffs, people are just going to be sick and tired of watching the Patriots win over and over again. So unless you're a fan of that team, I just think with the already dwindling numbers of fans watching the games on television, there's something to keep an eye on. I think personally, as a fan of an Eagles, but as a fan of the sport as whole, the lack of competitiveness in the AFC, that's assumed. Obviously, you have to go and play the game. The game's not won on paper. It makes me a little bit less interested. I'm much more interested to watch a top-end NFC matchup than I am a big matchup with the Patriots, like when the Patriots play the Broncos or when the Patriots play the Steelers. I don't know, man. I just think with how strong they're going to be, it doesn't really do a whole lot for me this year. But that could just be me looking at it right now. Obviously, Patriots with all these weapons, they're probably going to be fairly exciting to watch. But as it stands right now, I just think that's something that's worth talking about. Do you think because the Patriots are going to dominate next year if they stay healthy, it's going to make people just not care? They're not going to be able to get invested as much because it's, bring in fucking, who's that dude? Dennis Green. They are who they thought we were. I fucked it up. They are who we thought they were because it's the Patriots, man. It's going to be a tough year. The standard has been set once again for every other team. But thank you guys for watching. And as always, leave a comment in the comment section below about some of the questions I've prodded throughout this video. Subscribe if this is your first time stopping by. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, fuck the Patriots and peace out. You fucking greedy. Oh, it must be nice being a Patriots fan. Fuck!